ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is second video on Adi Shankaracharya's Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha is an introductory text outlining the fundamentals of Vedanta. Briefly and in simple language, it deals with the knowledge or reality, the individual and the world, and the relationship between them. It also describes the qualification of the student. Tattva Bodha is a Prakarana Grantha that introduces the concepts and terminology later to be found in Vedanta. It is composed for a new student who has to understand the technical terms before the study of actual text books is undertaken. The text is composed in the form of a dialogue between the teacher and the disciple. Invocation. वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्र नवा नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते. Having saluted Sri Vasudeva, the king of yogis, the Guru who is the bestower of jnana, the knowledge of the truth, the Tattva Bodha, the knowledge of the truth, is expounded for the benefit of the seekers after liberation. By this stanza, Shankara salutes the Lord Sri Vasudeva, who is the Gitacharya and hence the Guru and bestower of knowledge, who is also the Yogeshwara, Yogendra. It also serves as salutations to his personal Guru Sri Govinda Bhagavapada, Govinda being a synonym for Vasudeva. This stanza also indicates the Anubandha Chatustaya, namely the Adhikari, Vishaya, Sambandh and Prayojana, which are generally given at the commencement of such treaties. Here the Adhikari is the Mumukshu, the seeker after liberation. Vishya is Tattva Bodha, the knowledge of the Tattva or truth. Sambandha is the relation between the thing to be known and that which tells of it. Here the Vastu to be known is Brahma, and Tattva Bodha is that which speaks of it. Prayojana or the benefit, Phala, is Mumukshu Namhita, or the fulfillment of the desire for liberation of the seeker. With this we get into the text proper. Sadhan Chatushtaya Sampana Adhikarinam Moksha Sadhan Bhutam Tatav Vivek Prakaram Vyaksham. We will now explain for those who are endowed with the fourfold qualifications. Sadhana Chatushtaya, the mode of discrimination, which is the means of liberation. For liberation or achieving perfection, the process of discrimination should be employed. The truth is mixed up with or confused with untruth, and therefore a discriminative enquiry, viveka, is needed. This enquiry and associated efforts will yield successful results only if the student is qualified. A student is considered qualified if he possesses the fourfold imperatives or qualifications. Sadhana Chatushtaya. The textbook describes this process of discriminative enquiry. Verse number 1. Sadhana Chatushtaya, the fourfold qualifications. Sadhan Chatushtayam Kim, what are the fourfold qualifications? Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivek, the capacity to discriminate between the permanent and the impermanent. Iha Mutrarth Phal Bhog Viragah, compassion to the enjoyment of the fruits of one's action here and hereafter. Samadhi Satsak Sampatti, the group of 6 accomplishments beginning with Sama. Mumukshutvam Cheti, the yearning for liberation. Viveka, discriminate. Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka. What is meant by discrimination between the eternal and the ephemeral? Nitya Nitya Vastavekam Brahm Tad Vyatiriktam Sravamini Tem Ayamev Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivek. Brahma alone is the one Nitya Vastu, the eternal factor. Everything else is anitya, that is impermanent. This conviction is the discrimination between the eternal and the ephemeral. Viveka or discrimination between the eternal and ephemeral, the permanent and the impermanent, is the conviction that Brahma alone is the eternal factor, Nitya Vastu, and everything else is ephemeral, anitya, or bound by time. Time is a product of mind, and because Brahma transcends the mind, Brahma is not bound by time. It should be noted that the student at this point does not know what Brahma is. He only has the conviction of its truth and the ability to reject what is impermanent. A Viveki is the one who is keenly alive to the problem of perfection and the one who has a clear goal. Second verse. Vairagya, dispassion. Viragya ka. What is dispassion? E svarg bhogesu ichha rahitayam. The absence of desire for the enjoyment of the fruits of one's actions in this world as also in the other world. Vairagya is the absence, rahityam, of the desire to enjoy even the fruits of one's own efforts, not only in this life but hereafter. This vairagya or dispassion should arise out of discrimination rather than despair. It is natural result of a vigorous discrimination by which the seeker recognizes that the pleasures resulting from material gains are impermanent. Third, Shatka Sampatti, Samadhi Sadhana Sampatti Ka. What are the accomplishments of sadhana starting with Sama? Shama, Shamo, Dam, Upar, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam Cha iti. They are Sama, Dama, Uprama, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhana. The 6 accomplishments of sadhana are Sama, Dama, Uparma or Uparti, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhana. By accomplishing these qualifications, the seeker develops an integrated personality needed for spiritual development. 1.3.1 Sama. Sama ka. What is Sama? Mano Nigrah, control or mastery over the mind. Sama is the mastery or control over one's mind. When one's mind does not pose a problem or when one stops being overwhelmed by emotion, then one has acquired Sama. Mind is a force that is meant to be at one's command, but most people get overwhelmed by the mind instead. This situation leads to regrets and frustration. Control of the mind, mano nigraha, is the first step in the spiritual pursuit. 1.3.2 Dhamma. Dhamma ka. What is Dhamma? Chaksuradibo brih indriya nigraha. Chaksuradi Bahyar Indriya Nigraha, control of the external sense organs such as the eyes, etc. Dhamma is the control of the external senses of perception and action. This is again a natural outcome of sama. But in case one has not achieved sufficient control of one's mind, Dhamma is still helpful because response of the mind is eventually expressed by the senses. Control of senses is called Indriya Nigraha. 1.3.3 Uparma or Uparti. Uparma ka. What is Uparma? Sav dharma anushthan mev, strict observance of one's own dharma, duty. Uparma is defined as the strict observance of one's dharma, savadharma. Thus, a man has duty towards himself, the parents, teacher, family, society, etc. Performance of duty, dharma, usually involves sacrifice as opposed to rights which involve demands. 1.3.4 Titiksha. Titiksha ka. What is titiksha? Sitoshan Sukdu Ha Adi Sahishnutvam. The endurance of heat and cold, pleasure and pain. Titiksha is that frame of mind in which one is able to endure heat and cold, pleasure and pain, and such other opposites of which the life consists. Vagaries of life will definitely subject one to different conditions which are pleasant as well as unpleasant. One who has happy frame of mind and accept things as they are has achieved titiksha. Accepting things or situations with either grudge or helplessness is titiksha. 1.3.5 Shraddha. Shraddha ki dashi. What is the nature of Shraddha? Guru Vedant Vakya Dishu Viswasa hai Shraddha. Faith in the words of the Guru and in the scriptures is Shraddha. Shraddha is an unqualified faith in the teacher and the scriptures. Sometimes what the teacher or the scriptures state may not be clear or appear appropriate, but the student should have faith in the validity of the statements and he should reflect and analyze with a faith that this will lead to a proper understanding. As Gita says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. He who has Shraddha gains knowledge. The teacher and the scriptures always say the same thing, but sometimes the teacher amplifies or supplements the scriptural statements to suit the level of the student. 1.3.6 Samadhana. Samadhanam kim. What is Samadhana? Chittai ekagrata. Single pointedness of the mind. Samadhana is the single pointedness of the mind, so that the mind is absorbed in a chosen flow of thoughts related to and leading up to a given topic or object. This is called Sahajatiya Vritti Pravaha. Everyone has the quality of samadhana or ability to concentrate in the subject of one's interest, so the student of Vedanta should have his mind totally absorbed in study, reflection and contemplation of the teaching of scripture. The 6 sub-qualifications known as Satka, Sampatti have thus been described briefly. The fourth qualification of the sadhana chatushtaya is mumukshutvam, that is described below. 1.4 Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam kim? What is mumukshutvam? Moksho me bharyad iti ichha. Let me attain moksha, liberation. This intense yearning is mumukshutvam. The intense desire for liberation is called mumukshutvam. It is compared to the desire for jumping into a pond of a man whose matted hair has caught fire. The burning desire to solve the problem of incompleteness or limitation is mumukshutvam. This is the fundamental qualification, and other qualifications will follow if one possesses this burning desire. Moksha is not one of the objectives of a mumukshu, but the only objective. Etat sadhan chatushtayam. These are the fourfold qualifications. Tat tve vivekasya adhikarano bhavanti. Thereafter, that is, after having acquired these fourfold qualifications, they become a adhikari, that is, person fit for the inquiry into the truth. These are four qualifications, sadhana chatushtayam, of a seeker of truth. The student who has acquired these qualifications become an adhikari for a discriminative inquiry into the truth. Nothing else, such as caste, creed, sex, age, etc. matters. Second, Tattva Viveka, inquiry into truth. The teacher next indicates the nature of the inquiry, Viveka, into the truth, Tattva. Tattva Viveka. What is the Tattva Viveka? Atma Satyam Tadanyata Sarvam Mithyeti. Atma alone is real. All things other than Atma are unreal. This firm conviction is called Tattva Viveka. Truth is defined as that which remains unchanged in the three periods of time, past, present, and future. It is called Satyam. That which is non-existent, such as the horns of a man, is called Asat. That which exists but undergoes changes or modifications during the three periods of time is called Mithya. Everything in the objective world undergoes modifications, and so the world Jagat falls in the category of Mithya. The entire existence with respect to an individual can be divided into two categories. Number one, or I or Ahem, and number two, this or Idam. Atma is the I, Ahem, and rest of the world is this, Idam. But due to the ignorance of my real nature, I am always identified with either the body or the mind or the intellect, and so I have a false notion about myself. This false notion is the ego. If I can clearly distinguish what is different from myself, I can negate it and come to apprehend my own nature. Tattva Viveka is the inquiry into my real nature by first identifying what is not I or anatma, and then asserting what my real nature is. The principle employed in this inquiry is the knower or the perceiver is different from the known or the perceived. I, the knower, is different from this, the known. The following analysis shows how I, the knower, is different from the body with which I am falsely identified. This analysis is carried out from different aspects from which the human personality and existence can be viewed. Subsequently, the real nature of Atma is also pointed out. Atma ka. What? Who is Atma? स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीर आदि व्यतिरिक्तः पंचकोशा अतीतः सन् अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप सन यस्तिष्ठति सह आत्मा, that which is other than the sthula, sukshma and karana shariras, gross, subtle and causal bodies, which is beyond the five seats, which is the witness of the three states of awareness, which is the nature of Sat, Chit, Ananda, existence, knowledge, bliss, is Atma. The five seats, Pancha Kosha. I end this video here, and the third video on Tattva Bodha I will start with the five seats. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment and share the video. Namaskar my dear friends.